Hello, and welcome back to the Preppy Podcast. Hope you guys are having a great week and getting ready for 4th of July weekend. I have a fun episode, as always, today to share with you. It is with Sunny of Tigre de Tartan, who I have been following her for a while now. You might have remembered when I did my country club themed Mahjong day, I used one of her Mahjong mats, and I got so many compliments on it. And then after that, I instantly became hooked with her products, and her Madras print is so good and so Camp Preppy coded, which we will talk a little bit about Camp Preppy in a few moments. But we talked all about Sunny's background, even just some fun stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys are big fans of Labubus. I feel like it's very controversial. Some of you love them that follow me, and others just don't get it. So totally understand. But we just have a really fun chat about, her business and trends. It was so enjoyable. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode. But before we get into the episode, I have some really exciting breaking news, and that is that I am changing the date of Camp Preppy. So it originally was scheduled for July, but I had so many listeners, so many friends, so many brands, so many followers message me and just say July was so hard with travel and with family and with kids that it's just a hard month. So I have taken all of that into consideration. I've contacted those who already have tickets and those brands and businesses that are participating, and we are moving it to September 7th through 10th. It will be the same place at the Red Lion Inn, same schedule, but honestly, I think I'm going to add a few more activities just because, this time will allow another day of activities. So basically, the 7th you can come in, but the bulk of the activities will be on the 8th and 9th, and then the 10th will be, just leaving. But all of those details are updated on the preppypodcast.com, so feel free to go and check those out. The room link as well is there, but if you need any help, feel free to send me an email, send me a DM. I would love to answer any of those questions. I might even do a little solo quick bonus episode and reel about Camp Preppy and some more details, because I feel like so many people have had questions with it, but I'm just so excited because I've already announced it secretly to some friends and people that I know, or people that have requested the date change, so we've sold even more tickets. So there's less tickets than the first time around, but I think this is just going to be even better. So go to the preppypodcast.com and find all the details and tickets for Camp Preppy. And seriously, though, get them while you can, because with this new date change, they are going really, really fast, the final few. All right, let's get into this week's episode. All right, so why don't you let everyone know who you are, where you live, and what you do?
Hi, Patricia. I am Sunny Essler. I live in Winnetka, Illinois. I'm a Midwestern girl. And I own a brand. It's called Tigre de Tartan, and it's Spanish. Um, and it's a hobbies and home goods collection, very collectible, and it's character driven, story driven, and it's all artist design. So we employ independent female artists. They make all of our prints most of the time, and we put them on things that you would enjoy in your leisure time.
I love it. And I have been a big fan of yours for many years now. I think originally I started following you because Sydney from Summer Wind had posted something, I believe.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, she's one of my favorite.
she's amazing. I've had her on the podcast before, and I think that's how you got on my radar initially, is through her. But I just,
And thanks, Sydney.
yes. Hey, Sydney, thanks. I just love all that you do. I love all the hobbies. I love all the prints. I love all the colors. And I can't wait to learn more about you and your business today.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to enlighten you.
Yes. So let's start at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about you as a kid. Were you someone that was creative or entrepreneurial? Someone that, loved making things when they were little? What was that like for you? Like, when is your personality that maybe now looking back, you can be like, oh, I was going to have this business because I saw these little inklings when I was little.
Well, I do think that loving making things is an understatement. I feel more in the camp that I had to make things or I felt like I was gonna die. I
Mm.
really just was constantly creating, finding things, turning them into other things, improving upon things, forcing my friends to do the same thing, having craft nights,
Mhm.
and just carrying on constantly. In grade school, I had a candy business. This is the
Oh,
entrepreneurial part.
yeah.
And I really don't think that this is allowed, especially it wouldn't be allowed now. But I used to ride my bike to the pharmacy and I would get like those big, like Halloween candy packets
Mm. Yeah.
of Snickers bars and blow pops. And I would sell them I was like in third grade. I would sell them on the playground to the other kids. And I remember once I was like, am I going to get busted for this? I was like doing so well, making great money. And a teacher did confront me once. She said, Sonia, my birth name is Sonia, are
Mhm.
you responsible for all of this candy that's being sold on the playground? And I said, yes. And she goes, well, and I thought she was going to say, you need to shut down your business. She said, the least you can do is pick up the wrappers. So that's all I had to do is pick up the wrappers and I could continue on my business.
I love it. You weren't getting rated.
No, no, totally. And I mean, it just snowballed from there. I would sell greeting cards that I made
Okay.
to like my mom's coworkers for 5 cents
Mhm.
a piece. Um, and then when I got out of college, I started a theater company,
Oh.
which I had no business doing. But I just decided we were going to do it. And it was like very waiting for Guffman.
I love that. Tell me more about this theater company. What did that include, and what was it
Okay,
about?
so, well, I went to the theater school at DePaul. It's
Mhm.
a conservatory, so they have a pretty strict cut system. I want to say, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, you start with 50, and then by graduation, there's 8 left. So they cut
Wow.
and cut and cut and cut. So I was cut after my second year, which was
Wow.
really tough for me because I didn't really know what else I was going to do.
Yeah,
So I got really mad and I decided that I was going to start my own theater company. I didn't care.
I love that. Yeah.
And then this was in Chicago in the 90s. And there were a lot of illegal underground parties happening in Chicago in the 90s. Um, and my boyfriend was a DJ. So I'm like, you know what? We're just going to like call some people and see if we can get a venue and get some actors together. We had auditions and I started doing plays and like charging money
Oh my
tickets.
gosh.
The cops shut us down a bunch. We just kept doing it.
I love that. Creativity and entrepreneurship.
When the going gets tough.
Mhm. For sure. So, what happened then to the theater company, and sort of what was, the journey leading up to your business today? I'm curious about.
So, okay, got kicked out of the theater school. I needed something else to do. So I went into media arts at DePaul,
Okay.
which was a very, very small school at DePaul and not very prestigious or renowned. I fought with my professors constantly. I was very combative. I don't even know if I should have been in college really because I just
Mhm.
didn't have the patience to collaborate with people who thought they were in charge of me. Like, I just
Mm.
didn't like that. So I suffered through it. I met my husband while I was there. He
Okay.
finished all of my papers for me. He was my ghostwriter. So I'd be like, oh, I remember this class we had to take. It was called remote sensing. I don't even know what it was about, but there was some sort of like computer grayscale figuring out what's on the ground using a computer. He did all the
Oh my
homework for
gosh. That sounds, I don't even know what that is.
that. I know, it's so boring, right?
Yes.
But well, when I met my husband, I'm like, you're the perfect partner for me because you can handle all of this kind of stuff. So he really
Mhm.
impressed me and convinced me to marry him after he did all my homework for me. And then And then when I was in and then I was doing the theater thing, I realized that, hey, photographers are making like way more money than these actors are, and they're just way
Mm,
more in control of everything. And I
mm,
wanted that steady income for myself. I was settling down. I didn't need that much attention on me anymore because I was loved and I was married. And so I became a photographer and I ran a photography studio for 15 years
oh,
in
cool.
the Bucktown neighborhood. Um, I did that, and it was a daytime job because my husband was a 9 to 5er and I wanted to be one too.
Hmm.
So I would go in, I worked for the local magazine, Modern Luxury, and I would do all of the local advertisements. So butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, plastic surgeons, realtors, all of
Okay.
those people I would take their photos for.
Got it.
And I loved it because I could be an artist among non-artists, which
Mm.
I think is my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Did that for a really long time.
And it gives you that creative freedom then because they kind of trust you to have that vision, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also, it just felt safe. It wasn't, art school is a bunch of weirdos, which is great, to visit. But my gosh, living in that culture and in that world is scary to me.
Yeah. Wait, it's so funny because I was listening to a podcast before this, and someone else from DePaul and said the same thing. She was like, "Everyone was freaks." Like,
Yeah, and like
I'm cracking up.
I really like to toe that line,
Yeah.
like I'm artistic, but I'm also preppy.
Hmm.
So there's just that like dichotomy, and that's how I grew up too. Same thing,
Yep.
artist among non-artists, and that's where I like to be.
Yep.
Um, anyway, so did the um, did the studio for a long
Hmm.
time, and then I had my daughter. She's 14 now. um, was still able to kind of do it, but I was getting back problems from it. It's a very physical job, photography. You're bent
Yeah.
over a camera for hours at a time, and the stakes are so high, for this plastic surgeon who has a lipo at 7 a.m. and you're there at 5:45 and you have to really make it happen for them or they're going to like freak out. So
Yep.
you're just constantly bent over a camera and hauling equipment. I couldn't make that work anymore. I was developing major, like body problems. So I had a jewelry business where
Okay.
I ran into, I used to do a lot of beading, and that was a hobby. And
Hmm.
the owner of the store, I don't think it's there anymore. It's called Chelsea's Beads. It was in Highland Park. I developed a relationship with them. They said, you know what? We have this basement that is completely full of dead stock from the 70s and 80s. Do you want to have a look at it? And I was like, do I? I
Yeah.
went in there and they would let me go in there. It was a completely unfinished basement. I felt like something was going to pop out and bite me any moment. It was like one of those like bare light bulb situations. But they had exactly that, a trove of unfinished pieces, and I would take those, break them up, make them into something new. And I got into stores and was doing trunk shows and all of that stuff and loving it. However, I couldn't recreate that. There were no
Mm.
other basements anywhere that I could
Yeah.
find more stuff, and I had to really work hard in order to make the business successful. The harder I
Yeah.
worked, the more successful the business was, but it was just very much hands on. I couldn't send this stuff to
You
China. I
can't
couldn't.
scale it. Yeah, because it's all one off. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you would run out of this one bead. So then you would try to, and then you have to explain that to somebody and it just
Mm.
doesn't work. The flow isn't there
Yeah.
to scale.
Did you read, I forget what it's called, but about Banana Republic and how it got started, that brand? Because that was their issue when they first started the business. They were buying from army and military surplus stores, and it became so popular, but it's hard to scale that because, they're just one-off pieces essentially, or a few off pieces, right?
Oh, yeah. I think I did know that
Yeah.
peripherally. I know that Anthropology also, they used to be way more global flea
Hmm.
markety, and I think they have more success with the house brands. Of course, I would prefer that they still had all those cool antiques
Totally.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
Yep.
it's definitely something that I loved but could not scale. So it ended. Then I had my
Okay.
son, and that really just took over. I was a stay-at-home mom for years and years, and then when he went into first grade, I started looking around, realizing like, oh, maybe I need to like get back into the workforce.
Mm.
Um, which I don't know. I could have probably just stayed home because I know they're complaining about it a little bit. Like they're like, wait a minute, you used to, do X, Y, and Z for us, and now dad's doing it. And I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's like what happened.
Yeah.
Um, there's this issue, episode, chapter of the Bernstein Bears
Uh-huh.
where Mama Bear just like gets sick of everybody's crap in the house and decides
Uh-huh.
she's gonna, I think it make quilts. And she like has this quilt making business and the family
Yeah.
like completely implodes and freaks out. Like that's basically my
What's happening?
autobiography.
Yeah. I have to go and read that. It's been a while since I've read a Bernstein Bear book.
Yeah, it's like I'm Mama Bear currently.
Yeah. So tell me about then, yeah, launching this business. So you get to this point where you want to do something for yourself and start go into entrepreneurship again. What did you launch with then? Like, what was that first product and how did you get there?
So, oh my gosh, I still continued hobbying. I was needle pointing, I was sewing, I was creating things for my home. I had started my Instagram account as a interiors
Okay.
Instagram account, and that's how I started like gaining a following on Instagram.
Hmm.
The handle previously was Georgian on Garland because I live in a Georgian and we renovated it and it was on Garland Avenue. So I called it Georgian on Garland.
Okay.
Um, I have two friends that have birthdays really close to one another, and I had bought a bag insert that I was so in love with the concept, but it was just like this half baked product that kind of actually made me a little mad because I had paid so much money for it. So I decided I
Hmm.
was going to make them some bag
Okay.
inserts and make some improvements to it. Like, for example, have it well sewn and have it cinch so that it closed up and, acted more like a functional tie.
Mm-hmm.
So I made those and I just could not believe how adorable they were. I kept making them and kept making them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a business out of this. This is so fun. So then I started talking to manufacturers about it. And then the manufacturers were like, okay, this is a really great idea, but you really need to stop using this fabric. It's $300 a yard. You're not
Mm.
going to be able to, this is not marketable.
Yep.
So I was like, wah, wah. I loved the idea. But then that kind of sparked another idea, which was that I would make my own fabric. I was
Okay.
like, how hard could this be?
Yeah.
Um, turns out it was challenging.
Mm.
Finding artists at first was challenging, and then just getting the printing right on the fabric. But we
Mhm.
figured it out, and then I started making that. And then I had all of these prints, a library of prints and relationships with artists, and I didn't want to stop working. I started playing mahjong and realized like, okay, no offense to everything out there that is mahjong, but
Mhm.
it wasn't vibing with me. I was like,
Yeah.
I want mahjong the sunny way. And I
Mhm.
had all the prints. It was just like a no-brainer. And now I'm like the mahjong lady.
You are. I
I
know.
am. I am, which is kind
So
of funny because I'm still a novice.
I think I will never be like a pro or even halfway to a pro. There's just so many rules and so much to learn in mahjong, no matter how many times I play.
Well, I'm
Um,
lucky that I play with a bunch of novices too. So it's
yeah.
like I don't know what kind of threats are out there in terms of like a mahjong tournament because we are all just like, what do we do again?
Yep, same. And a lot of times we'll play in partners. So, my friend Gabby and I, who's my partner for it always, we're like, we just like to feel the vibes of the tiles and whatever feels
Wait, that is a
right.
cute idea, Patricia.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so much more fun. Yep.
Because otherwise there's a lot of not connecting in
Yeah.
terms of like you can have more conversations that way. I love that
Yep.
idea. I'm going to take that idea.
1,000%. That's what I mean. We're not professionals over here. We make up our own rules.
Right.
So, okay, the inserts then, those are those the similar or same ones then that you have on your website now that can go in the LL Bean totes, which are having such a moment, or your Goyards, that sort of is that what you started with then?
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
inserts. So
Okay.
I'm like a tote bag freak. I love the LL Bean tote bag. I think it's so iconic and it just goes with everything. I have a gajillion of them. I also love the Goyard GM and
Mm-hmm.
PM, just that
Mm-hmm.
simple tote. Um, Again, it's like a safety or security thing. I like to have a big old bag full of my stuff.
Yeah.
I um I'm a mom and I carry around stuff for my kids constantly. I like to have like a puffy coat with me at
Mm-hmm.
all times. I like to have
Mm-hmm.
my needlepoint. I like to have a full like glass bottle of water. So I
Yep.
need a tote, right? But you put
Yep.
that tote on the ground and everything's going to come spilling out. You go through airport security,
Mm-hmm.
everything's going to come spilling out. You put it under
Mm-hmm.
an airplane seat, it's all over the place. So I decided I wasn't going to make an organizer, which sometimes people think that those are meant to organize. They're not. They're just meant to hold in everything that is in a tote and cinch it shut for you in a very, very cute way. Almost like you're adding an Hermes scarf to your bag, sort of like cute
An
little.
accessory for your accessory.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a layering technique. And it's just a fun way of adding more personality to your tote. And it dresses it up kind of, but it also dresses it down kind of, makes it a lot less serious.
Mm-hmm.
People have put them in their Gucci Ophelia bags, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's like a really cool way to just personalize such a I don't want to say mass produced, but like such a
Yeah.
popular bag. It like really
Yep.
makes it an individual look. And I love
Yep.
that.
So talk to me then about these. Talk to me about these too, because this is the perfect size pouch. And also I love the material. It feels so nice, but like I should do a video on my Instagram of like what's in here because it fits so much. Like I think I have 3 pairs of sunglasses in here and like so much in
You could fit a
it.
cardigan in there if you were crafty.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about how this came to be then, this product too.
Okay, so that actually was a conversation that I had with Jenna Lyons. You can talk to Jenna. I don't know if you can anymore. You have to pay a pretty penny, but she's a decorator and is part of
Oh
this
yeah.
decorating consort or group where you can like Zoom her and get decorating advice from this like group of amazing elite decorators.
Oh, cool.
But okay, so like all the other decorators, they're like, I can help you with this, I can help you with that. And it's all interiors based decorating, problem solving. But under Jenna's list of things she can help you with, business, small business entrepreneurship, you can like talk to her about your ideas. And that's what I did.
That is such a creative hack for listeners right now. If she still does it.
Yeah. I
Yes.
heard her on a podcast talk about how she was there and I immediately looked her up and I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to her. And it was worth every second of my time. She was
Yeah.
amazing and really put me on this trajectory. And the pouch was one of the things that she advised me to do. She said, well, if you have a tote, you have to have a pouch that
Mhm.
goes with it. And then I started experimenting with printed leathers, and then made those pouches. And of course, they're large and in charge because that's how I like them.
Yes, I love it because I've also used it just as a clutch in its own self, out to dinner, but then yeah, in a large tote, and I just love that. Um,
Yeah, you pull it out. Martha Stewart actually also said something about that, where she's like, you
okay.
need a big tote for all of your work stuff, and then you pull this out, and then you run into the bodega or whatever,
Yep.
and you leave this in your limo.
Yep.
You leave your tote in the limo, and then you pull out the clutch.
Totally. With your driver.
Exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
So I want to talk to you about trends because I feel like you do a really good job of staying classic, like classic, preppy, and traditional, but touching on trends. So, for example, we're obsessed with the Labubus right now, and you have one with you. So, talk to me a little bit about that balance because I feel like you do it so well.
Well, thank you. That is an amazing compliment, actually, because I do pride myself on not being too trendy, but I do enjoy trends.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to think how I go about that. Um, First of all, if you take anything and you run it through the filter of an artist, you're going to get something that is authentic and lasting. You hire a painter to paint a labubu, all of a sudden you have something that's no longer trendy. You have something that's a piece of art and a statement about time and place. It's commentary and it's storytelling. It's no longer like the thing.
Hmm.
And I think that is how we approach it at Tigre de Tartan because it's all art. It's all very art driven, and the trend is just like the catalyst and maybe something that's going to get your attention, but you always will stay for the craftsmanship and the artistry. I think
Yeah.
we get you on the tail end with that.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great advice. Like, I mean, mahjong and needlepoint aren't a trend, I would say, but they are trending right now. And then, like we talked about, yeah, right. And then the Labubu, though, of course, I love even your Diet Coke print. I am a Diet Coke princess here, so I
I know,
even
isn't
love
that cute?
that.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So tell me
carry
a
that as
little.
a clutch.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about then some inspiration with some of your designs and working with your artists. Like, where do you come up with that? Like, where'd the Diet Coke one come from?
Okay, so the Diet Coke one, I was the designer for that. Like I decorated that whole
Okay.
thing. Um, and I think Diet Coke is trending too. Have you noticed
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of trending. So if you're an artist, luckily, I think you can get away with it. I wanted to use a vintage can and I wanted it to be painted. I've definitely talked to some folks about the legalities of Diet Coke, using Diet Coke, but
Mm-hmm.
we are definitely taking an artistic um, take on
Interpretation.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interpretation. So I don't know. I drink it all every day, and it's my special treat. People are calling it a fridge cigarette now. Have you heard that?
Yes, I have.
I was an avid smoker in like the 90s and the aughts. So I guess this is just part of the addictive personality is drinking a Diet Coke every day. So I'm like, okay, vintage can, people love it. I just wanted something more pop arty.
Hmm.
I loved Andy Warhol as a youth.
Yes.
So I think maybe this is sort of an homage and really inserting my personality into it. You'll see the prints that I make; they're very much screen printy
Mm.
and poppy like that.
Okay. Hmm. Like that Andy inspiration, then the Andy Warhol inspiration.
Exactly. I did the
Yeah.
Care Bears one in the same way, and I did the newest one. I haven't gotten a name for it yet. It's just called Collector's Item, that print,
Uh-huh.
but it's definitely like Labubu inspired, but he's a tiger.
I am obsessed. All my friends and I, we are Labubu obsessed right now.
Oh, thank
They just
goodness,
have
because I was
taken
feeling
off.
very alone. I was feeling
No.
very alone because it hasn't really hit Winnetka yet. The kids know what it is. I go to my son's school and the
Yeah.
kids are like, "Labubu," but like,
We send memes. all day long about Labubus to each other. So,
Can
okay.
send me a Labubu meme. It would be going exactly to the right place, Patricia.
I love that. So your brand and business is so much who you are too, which I think a lot of times people have trouble with that, but you also do that so well. I think your home, like I see snippets of your home then that you share on Instagram. And I see you live in color and pattern and so what you're designing, it all makes so much sense. And like you said, you play mahjong with your friends, you needlepoint. So I think there's something to be said about not just creating a product to create a product, but something that you truly believe and you live in, essentially, right?
Yes, and growing up, I remember listening to interviews, and the interviewer would always ask when it came to business, they would be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Okay, so you can't." Uh, People would say like, "Who's your customer? Who are you trying to reach with
Mm-hmm.
these products?" And you weren't allowed to say myself. Like, "Oh, well, I'm the customer."
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing that all the time, like maybe on Project Runway or something, like you had to have this story about this person and like but I'm the customer. I
Yeah.
literally make all of these things for myself and in doing that, you have such a freedom and also a knowledge about exactly what to do and what you want. And I
Mm-hmm.
would encourage people to do that if they can. And I think it works out great.
Mm-hmm. No, 1,000%. I'm curious for you, what is your favorite part and the best part about having this business that you have? And then what's your least favorite part, the part that you put off to do last minute or that you always complain about and hate?
Okay, the part that I love is definitely the creative process. And that's the stuff that like really keeps me up at night, like literally like 3 a.m. Like you'll notice that my posts kind of come in a little bit on the early morning side. And that's because I'm just up and I'm in my flow doing
Mhm.
these things. And I just feel so good, especially when I just feel like it's hitting
Yeah.
and just everything is going well. So that's my favorite part. And then I know you ask this question to
Mhm.
people, what's your least favorite part? And normally it's like
Yep.
the
The finance.
administration stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like, maybe I'm thinking about this a little too hard and a little too deep, Patricia. But I really wanted to answer this question in this way, which was that my business right now is so much in under my control. You know,
Mhm.
I'm not a one woman show, but I'm definitely a very few woman show.
Mhm.
And what I wonder is, and all these opportunities are coming at me, right? Fast and furious.
Yep.
The thing that I hate right now is just not knowing how I'm going to respond in the future when there's going to be more difficult decisions to make.
Mm.
Like, do I have the strength within me to be ethical and
Mm.
kind and patient and
Mm.
um, what to share, what not to share? Just am I doing the right thing in general? All of
Mhm.
those things are pretty easy right now because I have total control over my universe. However,
Yeah.
once this starts to get bigger, if it ever does, if I ever decide that,
Mhm.
what's going to happen? Because I have, dipped a toe in different collaborations and businesses and come across decisions that I had to make or the decisions that I see other people making that I'm like, oh, is that kosher? Like, can we do that? Or
Yeah.
is that nice?
Mhm.
So I think that's the toughest thing now. That gives me a
Keeps you
little
up
bit
at
of
night.
stress and yeah,
Yeah.
in the back. Well, not in the creative way. Keeping me up at
Yeah.
night is a
In a
good thing in
bad
my
way.
book. It wakes me up in the morning. How about that?
Yes, yeah, totally. No, that makes total sense. I was listening to a panel at a conference recently, and a lot of the women on the panel were talking about that they grew these amazing businesses, but they grew them too big, and so that they were doing more. of jobs that they didn't like anymore. Like if let's say it was a PR business, they weren't able to work with the client. Then instead they were managing a bunch of employees that worked for them at some point. And so I think sometimes too, we get lost in this world of like wanting it all and so fast that that's not always the right thing. Like sometimes where you're at, or maybe just a little bit further than where you're at, is actually where you're really content and happy because you get to be in it every day and have the control. But a lot of times we're fed that like grow, 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 make it as big as you can, then sell it off. Like, and that's
People
not
keep
always
asking
the
me that, like, "What's
answer.
next
Yeah.
for you? Like, are you gonna
Yeah.
hire people XYZ?" So I guess I would just say, for anyone listening, that if you like to work from bed and you like to, work from and you like you to keep your own hours
Hmm.
and you like to sit in your driveway and like do reels, employees having somebody come in from XYZ time to XYZ time, that's going to mess up your creative process and you're not going to be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
um, you can do this, but it definitely, if you're going to involve other people, it's going to change, and that'll make things different. So I made a decision a while ago that if I did hire someone, it was going to be like outside of a schedule and
Mm.
outside of like nobody's coming in here
Yeah.
into my
Okay.
studio that I'm sitting in. Like nobody knows what's going on in here, first of all. But like I really believe that staying small um is something that you're allowed to want.
Yes, exactly. There's value in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm loving that.
Yeah. I hear you. What's been the biggest pinch me moment so far with the business? Something you're really proud of or was really exciting?
Well, actually, Patricia, you had a lot to do with that. Do you know what I'm going to say?
The Hiltons, maybe?
Okay. So do you watch the show?
I listen, I watch just about all the housewives. I have since they started and I was in high school. So yes, I do.
Okay, thank goodness. Like people need to come out of the closet about this
Yeah.
because or I need to get new friends because I'm like, no, you're not watching the Housewives? Like it's
Yep.
such an excellent show. It's just so zany and like
Yep. Mindless. Like, yeah, it's not that deep. I like it. Yeah.
I really, really like it. So I watched like two shows, and one of them is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So you are a customer of mine, and you
Hmm.
posted on Instagram a photo of your mahjong party featuring one of my mats.
Yes.
So then Carol Bell, who
Hmm.
is also in PR, she follows you. She DM'd
Hmm.
me and was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're making round mats now. Like she kept talking to me and DMing me. And she's like, you're making round mats? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're coming out, Carol Bell, whoever you are, in over the summer. And then she's like, well, I am, what did she, president of the Hilton family, president of the Hilton family? I don't know.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
she does Kathy's PR and then some.
Yeah. She's her right hand woman. Yeah.
Yes, she's her right-hand woman. And
Hmm.
she's like, well, I really want to get the housewife. I want to do a scene with the housewives, a mahjong scene. Would you be interested? And I was just like, pinch me. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Like, you literally could not have found a more exciting opportunity for me. It's mahjong. I get to create something. It's the housewives. It's just like a big ball of everything that I love. So
Yeah.
immediately I was like, yes. And we're still talking on about that and working on it. But in the meantime, she's like, oh, and then Kathy does this spring market in her home. Do you want to do that? And I said, absolutely. I was on a plane in 2 seconds. I brought my best girlfriend. She's the one person who watches the show in my orbit. We just like we were working our butts off, but we were having literally the time of our lives.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a pinch me, and that's developed into other opportunities there, that I'm so grateful for. And I try to tell you every time I run into you, Patricia, that that's you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's really important to me for you to know that that was a very big deal. So I thank you
Of
for
course.
posting my mat and getting some
Of
attention for me.
Yes, no, 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 of course. So I'm curious then, who would be your dream customer or maybe even dream collab, we could say, if you could pick anyone?
Okay, so I already have Kathy Hilton, so I'm not going to say her, but
Yeah.
she has one of our Tiger bags and also she has one of our inserts. And like, I wasn't even selling them when I went to visit her. She saw my Tiger bag that was like sitting on the back stoop behind my booth, and she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we're making it." And it's like kind of difficult to make it and get the fabric and stuff and like actually really expensive. But then she asked about it again and again. So dream customer right there.
Yeah.
And then also Jenna Lyons. I would love for her to have something. And in fact, I should just give her a call, right? Because we had already spoken. I should just be
Yeah.
like, "Do you want one of these bags?" I think that would be fun. And then I would love Wes Anderson
Oh my gosh. Yes. I love Wes Anderson films.
for playing
Yes.
mahjong on one of my mats. I think that would be so sick
So
and
amazing. Yep.
amazing. Um, and then I thought maybe like some kind of tennis guy carrying
Okay.
something, like a
Yeah.
preppy tennis guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that answer your
Roger
question? I got
Federer,
a million.
maybe. No, that's perfect. Yeah. I think Roger Federer for sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now your tiger bag is on my Christmas wish list. So
Is that not the coolest thing ever? It
it's
just
so cool.
goes. It's like tiger, but it's boat and tote. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
so the essence of Tigre de Tartan. I love it so much.
No, 1,000%. So I'm going to ask this question. What does preppy mean to you? This is the Preppy podcast, so everyone has to answer it.
Oh my gosh. I, ever since I started listening to your website, I thought about that, or listening to your podcast,
Yeah.
I thought about my answer because there are so many ways that you can answer this question. And I'm going to go ahead and go deep again, Patricia.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Um, I've just always been attracted to preppiness and the preppy lifestyle. I married a preppy. I live in a preppy neighborhood. I love the civility and the safety of preppiness. There are rules. There's a dress code. Um there's a there are requirements, but at the same time, once you learn what those rules are, then you are free to break them. That's also part of like the preppy culture and lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I just love that dichotomy and I love existing in that world and hopefully contributing to that world. So I think that's what preppy means to me.
No, 1,000%. I mean, this Madras bag and the mahjong mat, I'm obsessed with and definitely contributes to the preppy world.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad that I was able to just add a little something.
No, it's amazing. So, any sneak peeks, anything you're working on that you can share with listeners?
Um, yes. We're really deep diving into the local. Um, well, I'm hosting the Kenilworth Cookbook Club on Friday.
That's so exciting.
It's actually a really big network. There's thousands of members, but then there's like a local group that comes together. Um, and we're going to have Paige Spearin, you know her.
Yes.
She's the illustrator, and she illustrated for the Wishbone Kitchen cookbook
Mm-hmm.
that just came out. So the Kenilworth Cookbook Club, you choose book, a cookbook, and then everybody cooks a dish from it and brings it together, and then you just sort of celebrate the book and talk about the book. So when Allison from the Kenilworth Cookbook Club came to me and asked if I wanted to be involved, I said yes, and I'm going to pick the Wishbone Kitchen cookbook.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask Paige to come and be like a special guest. So she's
Oh,
coming. We're talking about like painting a little like runner on all the tables. And then we're giving away like little prints,
oh my gosh, so
and
cool.
just like having a cute night,
Yeah.
celebrating the Wishbone Kitchen cookbook, but also
Yeah.
Paige. So getting a little local there.
Yeah. I saw you post this and I went and signed up, but I realized it's not like a virtual thing. So I was like, oh, I wish I was there.
There's
Okay.
a
Okay.
newsletter. Yeah,
Okay.
you can definitely get involved virtually. I'm not exactly sure how because I'm like running like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get tablecloths for it. Like that's what I'm doing after this.
Yeah.
And like making my backyard, like getting all the spider webs out of it. But I know that there's a way to participate that's not just attending the meetings.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just interested in yours, really. So,
And then like on a global level, so then there's the reality show, and then there is a partnership with a very, very cool, artistic, well-known clothing brand, and they don't have accessories. So we're talking about doing accessories for them for holiday. And I can't say who it is because like the deal's
oh,
not like totally, the ink's
yeah.
not dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, look for some really cool brand collaborations coming up for holiday that I'm super stoked about.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So many exciting, fun things. I can't wait. Well, this has been so fun chatting with you today. So before we get off, can you let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can shop your products, and support you?
Sure. So you can just Google me. Everything will come up. But my handle is Yay Tigre de Tartan. That's a long story why it's not just Tigre de Tartan. And then and then I have a website, tigredetartan.com. And that's everywhere I am, Patricia.
Perfect. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sunny. I had the best time chatting with you today.
Me too. This was like really fun.
All
It's kind
right.
of a therapy session. Lay it all out there for somebody. I loved it.
Thank you so much for listening to the Preppy Podcast. I hope this put a little prep in your step for the day. Please subscribe, rate, and review on wherever you listen to your podcast, and follow along with @the Preppy Podcast on social media.